Okay, so I was cut off. Hold on a second. I was cut off at the part when I was talking about Dr. Blair. And you know what, guys? I was listening to myself because I went back and listened to it, right? And I was sniffing. You know, it was a little cool outside. And when it gets cool outside, my nose gets stuffy. You know, my nose is like swell. It doesn't even get runny. It's almost like it swells or something, and to the point where it's hard to breathe in. And that's what goes on sometimes with me. That's been going on actually since I was like a preteen. I would say like a preteen is when the first I can remember that really happening. So that's kind of been an issue of mine. But I want to get back on because it cut me off with Dr. Delbert Blair. And I said, I was talking about is money your health? And I got on Dr. Delbert Blair, and honestly, I meant to talk about Dr. Delbert Blair when I was talking about people who struggle, and is it by design, or is it because of poverty consciousness, or is it because of a frequency they're not in? And Dr. Delbert Blair, I can definitely say that he had far from a poverty consciousness. If you knew who Delbert Blair was and familiar with his teachings and lectures, you can tell he was far from a poverty conscience, okay? And I doubt that I'm pretty sure he knew how to get into certain frequencies. But when you are a targeted individual, and Dr. Blair was definitely targeted. I mean, he has so many ailments in his body he talked about because they killed his wife. I can't imagine because him and his wife, according to him, they were so close, like they were glued at the hip. I can't imagine losing somebody like that. I'm almost rather not get married and lose them. I can't. It's like hats off to people, and I deal with a lot of stuff. Man, I get attacked so badly. Spiritually, I had so much bad stuff done to me since I was a child. I had to fight for my soul because my parents ain't want me. Apparently, they don't want me connected to my soul. So as a grown adult, I had to fight for my soul back. And literally, I do mean in the spiritual realm, somebody helped me with my freaking soul back. I went to shamans. I'm not playing. But with all of that, I can't imagine being married to somebody and being so close to them. Like they're me. They're me. And they die. Somebody kill them. Like she was murdered because of Dr. Blair's work. Because they didn't like the work that he was doing. He was doing it for the people. They didn't like the work that he was doing, and they killed his wife. They killed his wife. I really honestly meant to put that under the part where I said people who struggle is not 100% frequency and poverty consciousness. Actually, that story is really more appropriate for that because he was a targeted individual. He was targeted. I'm targeted too. But he was definitely targeted because he was more well known in the public eye. Now, I'm more well known in the spiritual world because I keep getting attacked. And nobody knows my name. Nobody knows me. I'm not important. My channel doesn't even grow like that. But I mean, I don't put the work in like some other people either. But even when I see some people who really put the work in, they still don't seem to get a lot of views, you know. But I think I know a little secret about that too. You know, but definitely, I mean, my camera, you know, you don't see nothing. So I can see why my page ain't growing. I'm just talking, you know. But my point is, I'm targeted and nobody knows me. So imagine Dr. Delbert Blair with the work that he was into. And I'm pretty sure he was warned to stop. And his work was so important to him that he lost his wife. And eventually, in his end days, when he was in his 80s, he was homeless. I mean, he came up with so many inventions with this thing. I forgot what it's called, but you know, when you microwave your food so you don't take in that radiation from the microwave, it's something that you put on your plate or something to keep from taking in that type of radiation. Like he came up with so many inventions. It's not funny, Dr. Delbert Blair. That's why I say he ain't like the regular conscious community. He ain't up to no good like that. He was a decent man. Nobody's perfect, but I think he might have been close to it. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody's perfect, but he might have been close. Okay. So as close as an imperfect human can get. Okay. I know he probably had his ways about him, but he was as perfect as a human could probably get. Almost there. Okay? And the reason why I say almost there, because I don't think he's anymore in the astral world. I think he graduated out of the astral world, because the astral world is an illusion. Okay? We're in astral bodies. We're in an astral world. It's an illusion. I think Dr. Deborah Black graduated from the astral world. That's how of a high consciousness this man had. That's why I say he was close to perfect. But in his last days, he was homeless. And it's a continuation of is money your health. I think he just decided to let go. And I'm glad he did, because these older people that's been around since Jim Crow, they've been around since the doggone, they've been around and seen so much that I'm glad a lot of these older people don't have to keep staying around to see this mess. But, yeah, I just wanted to finish what I was saying about in his last days, he was sleeping on people's couches. Like somebody, I can't remember the YouTube video anymore. But in Dr. Blair's last days, he was sleeping in different people's houses that he knew. He knew these people. It wasn't just random. He knew who they were. But he was on their couches. He had to go from house to house. You know, because of the work that he put in and his dedication, this is what happened in his last days. But that it probably messed with his head. It probably messed with his head. And I definitely can get that. It messes with your head, because what happens is, and I already understand what this is about. I already know it from personal experience. You're unstable. Yeah, people open up their doors to you. Yeah, you get to have a place to stay. No, he never slept on the street. Somebody always had their door open. But you don't know from week to week. You don't know if you're going to be in that same place, and you have to keep being prepared to leave out. You have to keep being prepared to go. And that can mess with your psyche. That can mess with your mental. You unstable, and sometimes you're ashamed of it, and it messes with your head. It messes with your spiritual self. It messes with your well-being all around. Money is your health. It just is under this system. It is. Okay? And I think that's all I had to say. Now, I think some people, unfortunately, and when I say I think, it's because I realize we're in a time loop. This is why I'm saying it like this. Because I know that the time loop keep happening during the reset. It seems to be a time loop where people are taken back, and you're in 2000, you'll be in 2017, and you won't think nothing of it, because you won't know anything changed. Like, the real me is probably in 2026. But my consciousness has not caught up to that year. That's what I'm saying. And I'm in 2022 and don't even realize. I don't even think nothing of it. Why? Because you just, it don't mean nothing if you're not in that type of consciousness to be aware. You have to have that awareness that something like that happened, that you were taken back, that you're in the loop. And if you don't have that awareness, you don't think nothing of it. Like tomorrow, you can go back to 2017 and you won't think nothing of it. You won't even know something changed. This is what I'm talking about. And so I say, I think it's because I'm not sure if they're going to try to put people in a time loop again this year. Okay, because of this reset. But to finish what I was saying is, I experienced that instability. I really feel like a lot of people are about to experience this instability. It was a lady in Florida who stayed in an apartment. That's why you can't really, most people are homeless. Let me just make that clear. Unless you own the land and the house, not only do you need to own the house, you need to own the land that you're on too. Unless you own those both, you're homeless. I'm just saying, because that land can be taken from you, but that house is stationary, especially if it's like built. It's not like a mobile home or nothing where you can get it and tow it somewhere, or like an RV. If it's a house that's stationary or something like that. If it's a house that's stationary, then if that land happens to be taken from you, if you're told to get off that property, then you're homeless, regardless if you were paying mortgage, or regardless if you paid off the house completely. And now I was wanting to talk about this lady in Florida, right? During this pandemic and during the time where those the you-know-whats came out, and people were told to they couldn't work unless they had it, and some people were kicked out their apartments if they didn't get it. So it was a lady in Florida. I heard this story, and the landlord told the tenants. I don't know if he told all the tenants or if he just told this one lady. It was a so-called black lady. And the landlord told her that she needs to get the you-know-what, or she can't stay there. So she was put out of that apartment just in an instant, in a blink of an eye. That lady ain't have a place to stay. In a blink of an eye, she did not have a place to stay. So while I can feel bad about my instability, and Dr. Delbert Blair in his end days, he went from house to house. He didn't have a place to stay after everything that he put in. Everything that he put in his end days, he was on people's couches. Okay. But honestly, I feel like a lot of people are going to experience this. That happened to a well-off couple that was in New Orleans, Louisiana during Katrina. It was a husband and wife, black people, so-called black people again. Nice-looking couple. They were young, too. They looked like they were in their 20s or 30s. Nice-looking couple. Married couple. They stayed in a big house. They were both physicians. Nice big house. Katrina came and took the house underwater. Do you hear me? That Katrina came and took that house underwater. The banks were closed, obviously. All of the banks were closed. And these people were standing in the line along with the homeless. You could not tell the difference between like maybe somebody on Skid Row and people who, you couldn't tell a difference. They looked the same. And I'm pretty sure that messed with their heads real bad. I'm pretty sure they looked disheveled. You see, they went from looking good, doctors living in a big house, nice car, to Katrina coming, burying their house underwater, banks closed so they can't get to their money, and they probably looked disheveled while they was trying to get some food. Money is your health. Money in this system is your health. It happened with the Depression. It was so, and I'm going to end this here, because I got to go. I'm going to end this here. And I got to take care of myself, too. That's why, that's my whole reason for starting this upload. Because I have to take care of myself, but it's the spiritual things that I'm dealing with. And I got to take care of myself, too. And I have to decide what's important. And at this point, I'm just going to make sure I just have enough. I can't just be, because serious things are happening. Serious things are happening. That's all I'll say. And I do have to make a decision on what's important. I have made my decision on what's more important. But I do need the basic necessities. And you know what? I'm going to make another video about this, but I'm going to say it real quick. This limited human rule set, this being a human, it ain't an option for me no more. And for people who can get it. For people who don't get it because they're not there, that's fine too, because I'm not here to judge you. But for people who get it, who understands that we're in an illusion, and that's really consciousness, and we're in an illusion where our physical bodies don't really exist, but there's information, there's a rule set where we believe physical is real because of a certain rule set in a virtual reality. If you are aware of that, or some people might believe in a holographic world, fine with me too. I believe in a virtual reality. But it's fine. I mean, we're not being told the truth, so everybody got their theories. But if you're aware of that, then you understand that your consciousness, and you understand that you don't have to be limited to a certain set of rules, okay? And I think it's time for me to get the heck on out of this particular rule set. I feel like a much bigger force has put this upon me, and it's been so bad. And a bigger force has put this upon me because it's time to let go of being a human. I'm telling you, being a human is only temporary. I don't know why people keep bragging on being a human. Why are people bragging on that? And listen, I'm going to stop sounding like I'm judging them. But I hear people online kind of criticizing other beings who are not human. Now, if a person, like a being, if they're not human and they're diabolical, okay, well, you can call them diabolical, but don't put them down because they ain't no human, because being a human ain't nothing to brag on. Being human is like a phase where you're supposed to graduate. Like, you're put like to one of the lowest, you're at one of the lowest levels of the soul as a human. Being a human is one of the lowest levels of the soul, okay? And you're meant to rise up from that. So it's nothing to brag on. We're supposed to rise up, and I think it's time for me to rise up out of being a doggone human. And I think that's why I'm going through so much, because it's time to come out of it. It's time to let go of being a human, because that's the lowest. That's one of the lowest levels of the soul. That it is. Okay. Really, the only thing that exists is your soul. Or some people don't have souls because of the larger consciousness system and that computer system. We're in a virtual reality, like I said. And some people don't have souls, okay? Like Tom Campbell, right? I brought up him in that the thing about people struggling and poverty, consciousness, and frequency, right? And I brought up Tom Campbell, TomCampbell, Tom Campbell, elderly white man. Okay, so he said he already is aware that he does not have an existence outside before the larger consciousness system came into play. He knew he did not exist before that. So then, but there are souls that existed before that, and they were trapped here, okay? And he didn't, but he is aware that he did not exist before that. So he is a product of the computer system and the consciousness and source. Like, he comes from source. Some beings, some of the babies that came in, melanated babies, they're very old souls. Oh, they existed way before the computer system. They existed way before the larger consciousness system, this moon, or the virtual reality, or the holographic world. Like, they existed before the actual real planet was attacked and destroyed. They existed before that, and they were trapped. Their souls were trapped here. And so they're reincarnating again. So, because those are going to be the warriors to help end this stuff. But that's why the young people are being so indoctrinated so bad, and they've been filled with low field energy and stuff that with no spirit in it. Because those are the actual old souls that came back. They're supposed to be the warriors, and these people that's in charge make sure these folks don't, these younger folks, this younger generation don't rise up, because those are the older souls. Okay. And you see, they really do have their mind on a certain group of people, although all people are caught up in it, though, except for certain people, which is a small percentage. But I'm in there. I was talking about Dr. Deborah Blair, and I was just and talking about decisions you got to make, and how money is your health. And I brought this up because I'm dealing with a situation. That's why I brought it up, because it's really something that I'm kind of dealing with. And I'm to the point where this shouldn't be, this needs to stop even, this shouldn't be. I shouldn't be concerned about something like money, but I don't have a choice but to under the system, but I should not be concerned about money. Okay, like, I should be worried about I should be more concerned with evolving than trying to make ends meet and trying to meet basic needs. I'm in a position where I need to be more concerned about that than my own soul. I mean, that's why that's the whole point of me even uploading this, is that sorry. That's the whole point of this. Is that I have to choose between basic survival and my soul. Okay? That's the point. Because it's time for me to stop being a human, but then I have to keep meeting my basic needs. I have to keep meeting my basic needs to the point where my soul is messed up. My soul is in trouble because I have to meet these basic needs. Okay? That was my whole point. But I'm about to end this here. I can't, if I was going to say something else, I can't remember. I will talk to you later.